Hello everyone and welcome. So, hi, I'm gonna be doing my first ever story time. I don't know how. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years now and I've never done a proper story time video. Okay, I'm just gonna get a pillow because I need something to lean against. And also, I'm freezing. Why is it so cold in England right now? Like, that's just not allowed. Anyway, I am gonna begin the story time in like 5 seconds. Just give me a sec. So, I've been obsessed with these videos, hence why I wanted to do one. Sorry, that angle's actually really annoying me. I've been obsessed, so I thought, you know, if I enjoy a video, I want to do them myself. Particularly, I've been watching Imogen Nation's story times because, like, to be fair, she's very good at them. She's got a lot of stories. Kind of thinking that this backdrop is like my story time sofa, even though I'm kind of sat on my bed, but you know, we'll go with it. If you can think of a better name, feel free, because if I like weekly or like bi-weekly, these would be really nice to do, because considering I'm only 19, I have quite a lot of stories. But I wanted to start with, I mean, it's a really serious one, because like genuinely the title is not clickbait. I thought I was going to die, but it is like the situation is a bit more funny. I can do other story times in the future that are a little bit more like serious and a little bit more sad, but this one, you kind of have to laugh or you'll cry situation. So, take you back. This is Ibiza summer of 2017. This is my best friend Chloe. You guys will have actually probably seen the vlog, but I'm not quite sure that I went into that much detail about what actually happened, or if I did, it was very badly explained. So this was my first ever girls' holiday. This was the first time I'd ever, I think, gone away just me and a friend and no parents. I think it might have been. So I was 18 at the time. We're gonna pretend that Chloe was also 18. She was actually 17. I do not permit doing this. I'm not encouraging it. It was something that we did. Looking back, it probably wasn't the right move, but you know, it's fine, we'll go with it. Yeah, so we went to Ibiza for our first girls' holiday. Now, everyone knows Ibiza is a drinking culture, and we know I'm not really one to drink. It's not because I have anything against drinking, not really anything like that. I'm just not personally someone that drinks very often. So last year, in 2018, I think I drank about 4 times. Just out of choice. I'm either someone that likes to go like really go out and drink and have a good time, or I don't need the drink, I won't have a drop and blah 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 blah. Like, it's just not me. I can't be bothered with hangovers. I drink occasionally, that's all well and good, fun, fine, fresh, you know, all good. So when we're in Ibiza, I'm 18. It's a girls' holiday. I know we're gonna be drinking, it's gonna be fun, we're gonna be doing this, we're gonna be doing that. So yeah, we arrive and we went on the Monday. We didn't get there till a bit late. Then we had Tuesday. Don't know what we did, can't recall. Wednesday we went, no wait, shoot. It was Tuesday, the first day, we went to Ocean Beach. Now, Ocean Beach, personally for me, is like my highlight of Ibiza. I think it's the best place on the planet. It's so funny and fun and just, we absolutely loved it. So, this is the first day, proper day, unless we had a day before, I cannot recall, but that bit's not important. I, at that point, wasn't a drinker really either, but Ocean Beach is a daytime event. So it's day drinking, which is dangerous. Like, I fully understand. Day drinking is not the same as night drinking. You haven't eaten 3 meals before you have a sip of alcohol. You've like barely eaten, because we were in bikinis, we were being silly and didn't eat loads, which I don't recommend, but it happened. We were there and we were wandering around. I think we bought ourselves a drink. I had a gin and tonic, some things never change. Chloe had a frozen strawberry daiquiri, and it was probably about 1 o'clock. So it opens at like, I think it's like 11:30, 12, but you know, you've got to be a bit late to the party. It may have even been 2 o'clock by this point. So we turned up. I got ID'd as we were walking in. So I'm the 18-year-old and I got ID'd. Chloe didn't get ID'd, wasn't even the 18-year-old. Again, do not advise this. I'm not permitting this. It just happened. I'm just being honest because, you know, honesty is the best policy. And she's fine. We get in. We're like, whew, that was a close call. Anyway, so we're wandering around, we're in the normal bit. We seem to have attracted these two guys who came over to us, and they were from VIP, and they basically said, do you want to come to the VIP area? You can like come on our table, blah, blah, blah. Now these guys seemed normal, all fine. We were like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like, you seem nice, blah, 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 blah. Now if you're on VIP, you get alcohol on the table because there's like a minimum spend. So there was quite a bit of alcohol. Like, me and Chloe weren't paying for it. These guys had money, had bought a table, everything like that. But it wasn't in the situation where I feel like you hear a lot of where guys then think they have a right for you to kiss them, to sleep with them, anything like that. These guys were actually legitimately quite nice guys. They're a bit odd, but they were actually quite nice guys, and they were talking about this girl that was supposed to be coming and meeting them, and they blatantly both fancied this girl, didn't want a bit of us. I don't really know why they invited us onto their table, but anyway, we then made best friends with the girls next door and got a bit merry, and at one point in the day I was a little bit too tipsy, so I stopped drinking and I had a little bit of a nap because this was the middle of the day. I had a bit of a nap. Then my sister's boyfriend was there at the same time, so then we met up with him and his friends, blah blah blah. We end up leaving Ocean at 11 o'clock at night. So we got there at like 1 and we left at 11. You see what I mean about how it's a whole day thing? It's a day drinking thing, it's a day event. We are not those sort of people to then go from that finished at 11 and then go on to another club. No matter how many people try to tell us to come to another club, we were like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm getting dinner and I'm going to bed. So that's exactly what we did. Then the next morning we wake up and we feel a little bit rough, but we're not awful. We're like, I know I've had alcohol, I feel a little bit sicky, I feel a little bit hungover, but this isn't the end of the world. So we get up, we get ready, and we go off to Old Town. So Old Town in Ibiza is literally like my favourite place on the planet. It's so bougie, it's so chilled. Chloe had never been to Ibiza before, and I had previously with my family. So I was like, yes, okay, we need to go. I got passion fruit, Chloe got, what did you get? Side note, I promise I will get to the actual like juicy bit, but I just need to paint the scene, paint the picture. That's what these story times are about, I'm learning. So yes, we got up, we got ready, and we got on the bus to Old Town because we were gonna go for the day. Then in the evening we'd actually booked to go to Cafe Mambo, which is like a really famous bar, and we wanted to watch the sunset. And you have to pay £75 each for a table at Cafe Mambo, but the 7 PM sunset slot was fully booked. So we booked at 10 PM. Guys, don't do it, it's a waste of your money. But Cafe Mambo is really cool. It's in San Antonio, it's right on the beachfront, and you know, it's vibey, it's very cool. I've been there before, all of the above. So we arrive into Old Town and we want some food. The breakfast at our hotel was horrendous. We're like, okay, let's get some like late lunch, blah, 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 blah. And we're roaming around and we're looking for somewhere to go. And for some reason on this day, a lot of the places in Old Town were closed. They do mostly open a little bit later on in the day. I think we're a bit too early, or we'd missed the lunch slot. They were, I don't even know. But basically there was not really many places. We stumble across this one that I could actually eat things at, because if you don't know, I'm allergic to dairy and it's all very complicated, but I'm very difficult to dine with, I'm not gonna lie. So we finally find this place. It's a little bit more bougie, so we're like, okay, fab. Sit down, we order. Now Chloe has some like chicken kebab stick with potatoes, and I had an avocado smoothie for one, and then I had steak tartare. Yeah, if you don't know what steak tartare is, it's basically a beef burger that hasn't been cooked. That is ultimately what you would describe steak tartare as. So I order my steak tartare, I eat it, it's really nice, yeah. We're not feeling too hungover now, like we're okay. Then We finish up, we pay, we wander around Old Town, we sit down, we have girly chats, we went and got sorbet, all of the above. We come back and it's like, what, 6 o'clock, and I'm feeling quite sick. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a bit ill, I'm gonna have a sleep. So we slept from like 6 till like 8. Then I get back up and I start to get ready because we need to go to Cafe Mambo. Maybe it was like 9 actually. So I had quite a good nap. But I woke up even more ill. I felt horrendous. And I did not know what was wrong with me. I was just blaming it on being hungover. I was like, I must just be hungover. I must just have too much to drink yesterday. This must just be me being hungover, because I hadn't been hungover really in the past, so I didn't really know what it was truly like. Well, that's a lie actually. There was an incident in Ibiza when I was 15, but we'll pretend that never happened. That can be another story time. So we're sat there, I remember being really shaky, and like, I'm not that person that if I'm with a friend, I don't want to like be like, pity me, I feel so ill, blah blah blah. When it's with my family, I'm a little bit different, but when it's a friend, you don't want to make them feel like really rubbish. So I was just putting on a brave face, I'm sat there topping up my makeup, and then I literally go, Chloe, I'm gonna be sick. And I leg it, and I mean leg it, to the bathroom from our bedroom, and I'm got my head over the toilet. I have never done this in my life. Like, to this point, I had never been sick in this way. So I was there, and Chloe comes over, and she's like, are you okay? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. She's in the bathroom, and I kid you not, no word of a lie, I projectile vomited until my full-on stomach acid was coming out. Like, I'm not even joking. I was sick so much. I'd sicked up everything we ate the day before, all the alcohol we'd had. I'd sicked up the food I ate. I'd sicked up the sorbet. I have never thrown up so much in my life, and it was to the point where my throat was burning because all the stomach acid and bile had even been thrown up. It's got dragged down my throat. Now at this point, Chloe also thought I was just hungover, so we thought it was quite funny. So like, when I was projectile vomiting, she ran away laughing because she couldn't hear me be sick. I don't blame her. I'm not calling you a bad friend, Chloe, I love you, I would probably have done the same. But like, it wasn't as though she felt sorry for me because I was hungover, and like, I'm that person, if someone's hungover and they're complaining about feeling ill, I'm like, well, that's your problem, you're the one that drank the alcohol. So we didn't think anything of it. We were literally like, I just drank too much, I'm just hungover. Once I'm sick, I will feel fine. Because once I threw up, I actually felt like okay. So, yes. Now it's literally like 9:45, and we're like, shoot, our booking starts in 15 minutes. And if we're not there at 10 o'clock, we lose our space. We've already paid the £75 each, we need to go. So I literally slap on some makeup, we take some Instagram photos. I literally had this photo 5 seconds after projectile vomiting. Don't ask me how. And we walk over to Cafe Mambo. And as we're walking along, I'm progressively starting to feel more ill. Now, I say to Chloe from the get-go, I am not drinking tonight. Like, I could not put alcohol in my system because we still think that I am just hungover or got alcohol poisoning or something along those lines. And I'm like, I'm just gonna drink water. You can drink, I'm not going to stop you. Like, you have fun, we'll still have fun. I don't need to drink to have fun, it's all fine. Then we came to ordering food. Now, we've got to theoretically spend £75 each, because whatever you don't spend, you still get charged, because there is a minimum spend of £75 per person. So the idea is that you go and you get, say, 4 drinks and a meal, and that would cover the fee, and it would be the same as just eating there without having to reserve the table. So I'm like, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to eat a lot. And we'd eaten like maybe like 6 or 7, 8 hours prior, so I should have been hungry. Chloe literally orders a feast of like chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, different like mojitos, and I order chips and a plate of Parma ham. I did not touch that plate of parma ham. I drank probably like 5 bottles of water. We're sitting there, our food arrives, we're still having a good time. These people at a table next door to us were like having a massive fight and throwing drinks at each other, which we found quite amusing. I'm not sure the staff did, but it was a pretty busy night. They start having DJs, there's like performances. So I'm eating away at my chips, trying to pretend that like all is good. I'm just putting on a brave face. I don't want to ruin this. It's only our like 2nd or 3rd night in Ibiza. So I was powering on through, and then it happened again. I was like, Chloe, I'm gonna be sick. And my face, I remember feeling my face just drain all of its colour, and like me literally be like, Chloe, I need to go. We're sat out on like the balcony. I run, like I leg it through this place. There's like a balcony, then there's a bit of like the street that people walk past, then there's like the actual like inside restaurant bit, and then the toilet is all the way at the back. I knew this because I'd been there previous years, so I'm running 100 miles an hour because I'm like, I'm gonna be sick, I'm gonna be sick, I'm gonna be sick. I get to the toilet, or I get near the toilet. The ladies' toilets has a queue of literally like 25 people. I'm not even joking. Theoretically, I'm realizing now I probably should have just screamed, I'm gonna be sick, let me in the toilet. But I didn't. In my mind, I was like, okay, we're right on the beachfront. I will run to the beachfront and I'll be sick in the sea. Wow, logic, Misha, logic. What Misha didn't realise is how soon she was to throwing up. So I am running to the sea, but I am at the point in which I am literally at the open doors from the inside to the outside bit. I'm stood next to the DJ booth, surrounded by so many guys, and I am sick in my mouth. I've got this sick in my mouth, I'm running, I'm trying to run to get to the sea. No Mish, there was a round 2 coming, and you couldn't keep the round 1 in if round 2 was coming. So I literally projectile vomit all over the floor of Cafe Mambo. Projectile, with all these guys staring at me like, I did not know what to do. I had sick in my hands, I had sick all over the floor, I had sick on my shoes. I was so embarrassed. In that moment, I had absolutely no clue what to do. These guys were looking at me like someone's had a bit too much to drink, and in that moment, I still thought it was because of the alcohol I had had 24 hours previous. So I'm like, what do I do? Luckily, some staff member walks past at the exact moment, hands me this like kitchen roll, and I just wipe my hands and walk off. I literally leave my sick on the floor. I just walk away from it. I literally run away from it. I run back to Chloe and I'm like, Chloe, I've just been sick all over the floor. She's like, we need to leave. So she literally downs her food. We quickly pay. I literally had to pay £75 even though I basically had water, but I wasn't going to get Chloe to pay for it, and we had to pay for it. So yeah, £75 each, most expensive night in Ibiza, totally not worth it. And I suddenly I get taken over with this illness. I can barely talk, I can barely walk, I am shaking, I am freezing, then I am boiling, and I literally just thought it was because of the alcohol. And I had not told mum about any of this. I texted my sister Anya earlier on in the day like, I've just been sick, oh my god, I think I drank too much yesterday. And like, Anya thought it was funny, but I didn't tell mum because I was worried she was going to think that I was being irresponsible and that I drank too much and that I wasn't safe. I didn't want to worry her. Babes, you should have messaged your mum the moment you were sick. You should have. I then spent the night, we went back, and this was probably at like 11:30. I literally spent the night with joggers on, a jumper on, leggings on, a blanket, a quilt, another blanket, a nightgown. I was freezing. I was shaking. I literally thought I was gonna be sick every 5 seconds. Thankfully, I didn't throw up again because I basically had nothing left in me to throw up unless I wanted to throw up an organ at this point. So yeah, that was fun. I have never in my life felt that ill, ever in my life. I wake up the next morning and I am still awful, and we are booked to go to see, who was it? Craig David at the Ibiza Rocks pool party. And I'm like, I can't let Chloe down. I can't, I'm just going to have to put on a brave face. I can't let Chloe down. Now, obviously, I'd thought at this point that it was alcohol. And with alcohol, after like the first day, you'd stop feeling the way that you did. I woke up and I was just as bad. And then it dawned on me. Babe, you've got food poisoning. You've got food poisoning. I had steak tartare, a raw beef burger basically, in a foreign country. I had food poisoning. And then it all made sense. It all made blooming sense. And I was just like, I literally thought I was going to die. That's how ill I felt. That's why I'm not clickbaiting, because I literally thought I was going to die. I have never felt so rough in my life. Somehow, I slapped some makeup on and I basically crawled to the Craig David pool party. Wouldn't recommend it. I'm not a massive fan of Ibiza Rocks. I won't lie, it's a little bit too, everyone's on drugs. Not really my scene. You do you, do what you want, but it just kind of was a bit scary. So yeah, that's besides the point. Again, I did not drink one drop of alcohol. I couldn't eat. Oh my goodness me. We literally went to the pool party and then came home, and then I think we tried to go for food somewhere and I could not eat for the life of me. I'd have like one bite and then I thought I was gonna throw up. Then I think by this point it was Friday and we were leaving, and I told Mum what had happened the next morning. I'd been like, Mum, I think I've got food poisoning, blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh my goodness. She basically sent me to a doctor's appointment like the moment I got home. But our flight back on Friday wasn't until later on in the day. So this had been 2 or 3 days since I'd eaten that steak tartare, and I was still so ill. We were waiting to go back and I was literally led on the sofa in the hotel lobby, basically like crying because I was so ill. Oh, honestly horrific. Still had barely eaten for like 3 days. And then we get on the plane, and like being on an airplane isn't really the best anyway. Being on like a party airplane when you've barely had any sleep, you're ill, it just wasn't a vibe. We got delayed. We ended up not getting home until like midnight or something, and Mum was collecting us from the train station. Now this is where the storyline thickens, and Mum came to collect us from the train station. Dad had gone to bed. We arrive home, I've not slept, I've not eaten, I'm so ill. All I want is my own bed, because it's literally like 1 AM at this point. And Mum goes to unlock the front door. Oh boo, we have a fake key. We have a buff key. We have a key that fits in the door lock, but it doesn't open the damn lock. Yeah. So we are ringing my dad, we are ringing the home phone, we are bashing on the door, we are throwing things at the window. My sister was fast asleep in her boyfriend's house, who's like a 20-minute drive away. Oh my god, we were sat outside that front door screaming, knocking on the door, ringing him. He had 150 missed calls on his phone, and my dad did not wake up. He didn't wake up. How did he not wake up? I do not know. Honestly, I don't know. So it's like 2 o'clock in the morning at this point, and we're like, what do we do? I haven't eaten for 3 days. I'm ill. Chloe's leaving to go back to Scotland at 7 o'clock the next morning. What do we do? we're like, we've got the car, okay, we're gonna drive to a Premier Inn and we're gonna see if they have any space. Nope, Premier Inn had no space. Travelodge had no space. We're like, okay, I haven't eaten, let's go get a kebab. So we are in this kebab house at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, not drunk, with my mum in a onesie, me in a blooming summer Ibiza dress because I didn't have any layers with me, apart from like this orange hoodie. Chloe, like, we literally just sat in this kebab shop for like an hour eating. It's now 4 o'clock in the morning. We come back to the house, we ring the doorbell, we knock on the door, we do everything. None of our neighbours have a key, so there is no use trying to knock on their doors. And we don't know any of my neighbours. Like, still to this day, I don't know any of my neighbours. Also, my sister isn't picking up her phone. We couldn't have driven to her boyfriend's house because we couldn't have got in the door, no one was there. Basically, it wouldn't have worked. So we're like, screw it, we're gonna have to sleep in the car. We are gonna have to sleep in this damn car. Now obviously I know there is a lot worse things that you could do, there is a lot worse places you could sleep. I was so very grateful to have that car, but in that moment, because I was so ill, I didn't see the funny side to it. I didn't see that we were actually much better off than so many people. In my mind, I just cried. I actually do think I cried because I was just so unwell. So 4 o'clock in the morning, we all lie down in the car. Well, not really lie down, we're like sat upright and we try and sleep. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, Mum wakes up and she goes back to the front door and starts knocking again. Finally, my dad wakes up because he needs a wee, and he finally hears her. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, we crawl into the house. Literally, Chloe gets 30 minutes sleep in my bed before she has to leave and get a taxi to go to the airport again because she's got to fly back to Scotland. I have never been so relieved to see my bed in my life. Honest to God. Wowzers. The next day, I then went to the doctors, went and had tests and got diagnosed, and yes, I had E. coli, which is what you get from beef. So yeah, I had E. coli, and I was ill for another 2 weeks. I was literally bedbound for 2 weeks, couldn't move. So yeah, that is how I nearly died in Ibiza, or I thought I was going to die, and I really wouldn't suggest eating raw meat abroad. That's my advice to you all. Do you see what I mean? How, like, it's funny now looking back on it, but at the time, I have never been so upset in my life. Because, I mean, it was definitely a welcome to Ibiza. It was definitely an interesting first girls' holiday. And I learnt a lot. I learnt a lot. We're gonna ignore the fact that when me and Mum were in Miami last year, I also got salmonella, food poisoning from raw chicken, from a restaurant. That was very expensive, but we're just gonna pretend that never happened because apparently I'm that person that always gets food poisoning. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little story time. I'm sorry if it's been very long, but I watter on. I'm gonna think of some ideas of different story times that I should do, and I'll do like polls on my Instagram to see which ones you want first. So make sure to follow me at Misha_Grimes so you can see all of those polls and get involved. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I do, hands on heart, absolutely love Ibiza. I went back there last year for I think it's like the 5th time I've been there, but like the 2nd time on like a girls' holiday. And I promise that all went to plan. It's fine. I didn't get ill, touch wood. I mean, I didn't because it's in the past. But yeah, highly recommend Ibiza. Just be aware that everyone's on drugs. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people. And they try and tell you to take their drugs, but you decline and you say no and you don't take their drugs. At least that's what I did because no, not my scene. You know, just never been me, never done that. Never had drugs in my life, and I'm gonna keep it that way. So yes, that has been my story time of when I nearly died in Ibiza. However crazy that might sound, it seemed realistic at the time. So Alfie's barking because he wants dinner, the camera's about to die, I'm gonna love you and leave you.